It's YouTube Wednesday! This project is near and dear to my heart. We're making some pool noodle witches. These are going to be outdoors, so they have to be pretty sturdy. Pool noodles hold up pretty well. They can get UV damage, so it's nice if they have robes on. And we make the robes later out of landscape fabric. You can see that I'm kind of chatting while I work, but ignore that. When I was learning how to do pool noodle work, I watched a lot of bamboo videos from like old Japanese craftsmen. And because the structure is very similar, it's that long tube shape, it's hollow in the middle. So I watched the way that they split it and the way that they use the shapes to their advantage. And I'm just kind of doing that myself as I work, and I'm thinking about those structures and things. So you'll see me making tubes. I'm trying to make them all the same size. I'm making rings out of half things. We're just doing a body. Fun stuff. That long bevel cut right there, that is so I could make a hoop that's roughly, torso sized for this type of person. And I'm gonna glue that down with heat. And then I'll do this piece, and then I'm just gonna make a couple hoops, so I have a few different witches to make. And the moral of that story is never trust a butt joint. If you can do a bevel cut and get a nice, it's all about surface area. So if you can get it to adhese over more surface area, it's just gonna be a stronger bond. So not having necessarily a butt joint or supporting your butt joint with a nice long bevel cut is the way to go. I had 3 of these witches to do, and I had about 6-7 hours to do all of them in. And it worked out pretty well. It's fast. These were all the heads were precast. They were already, molded and set up, so I had heads and hands ready to go. And when you're talking about making full figures, the hard part is heads and hands. So those are going to be something normally that's purchased somewhere else, or you have those for the build, but this is a wonderful way to fill out the bodies because the pool noodles are already hollow. And all of these are from foamnoodles.com, who are pretty dang amazing as far as their noodles go, because you can get them any time of year, any color you want, and they're just beefier than the dollar store noodles. But this is not a sales pitch. If you use them, you'll know that they're awesome. Because they're already hollow, it's real easy to drive a piece of rebar into the ground or 2 pieces of rebar and then slide your figure over top of that. And then you have a stable, self-standing figure, which is, who would not want to put 20 or 30s of those in your, even if you just make the forms and make sheet ghosts. Like that's cool, 10, 15 sheet ghosts. I think that these guys use, maybe 10 noodles each, which means you're making a whole body for less than $50, minus the head and hands. That's the way to go. This is fencing wire. When you're doing chain link fence, this is what you run up on the top as support wire. And it comes in big rolls that go in the bowl. There are many schools of what craft wire is the best craft wire, and people tend to use what they know. I get flack sometimes for not necessarily doing materials lists, but it's going to be modified enough. You need a wire that's stiff enough to help hold the shape. I might use 2 or 3 pieces of ceiling hanger wire because I always have it on hand. This fencing wire is good. And you might have access to something else that I don't use at all. And then you should tell me about it because I want to know your secrets. Heat bonding the foam. Let's talk about that for a second. This is a skill you need to practice and get good at because it is a life changer. If you just quit and give up and say, I'm gonna hot glue it or I'm gonna tape it together, don't do that because the benefits of it being heat bonded are so much higher, so much better. You see how fast these are going together? They go together quick when you use the heat bonding method. Practice it. Take an hour of time and have 2 or 3 spare pool noodles ready to go that you're just gonna cut up and heat bond back together, kind of without an aim for the project, because that skill will serve you very well. And here you can see I am putting the arms on. You know, if I was doing a character that's, 5'10" tall, I'm just gonna use myself as a frame. I might not make it as wide as I am, but you can use your own body as a frame to get those proportions, or just draw that stick figure on your wall the way that you want and use that every time. This piece is a shoulder, and it goes over top. It's glued to this one, it's glued to this one, and it wraps down this way. And then it splits the wire there. So much crafting, there's so much engineering in crafting. So it's not just putting it together, slap, it's on. Then it's thinking about how do you reinforce it? How do you add all these buttresses? How do you, through many bonds we're strong, whereas it's gonna be weaker if it is just one connection. Never trust a butt joint. If something is butt jointed together, you definitely want to put something over top of that that's a little stronger. It's giving me a hug. Look at that. There's always time for love in the still piece shop. This is the support structure and the trussing for a widget buoy. So my theory is you drive 2 pieces of rebar into the ground, then you slide a 1/2-inch PVC pipe over that, and then you just slide this over that, and then the arms are bendable and the head will be flexible too, posable, I should say. So full disclosure, I am recording this months after I shot this video. So not everything is as fresh in my memory. But if I had to make these today, I would probably make them exactly the same way. Just beefing up the frame. What is wrong, in my opinion, with most body forms for haunts, most standing figures, is they're not full enough. Certainly all of the Spencer's animatronics and such, they're all just they're wire frames with clothes hanging on them. Having this pool noodle structure inside really gives them a feeling of realism. It really helps beef them up a little bit. If you look at how clothes sit on people, where does it hang and where does it drape? And making sure that you have foam where the clothes touch up against it, and then you don't have to have foam where it drapes. You have a lot more leeway there. You're just going to get more realistic figures. Be a study of form. Many people have said that I can heat bond foam and it's magic. It's not magic, it's just I've practiced. Now, my hands may be a little more used to the heat gun than yours. Maybe don't shoot it directly at your hand like I'm doing in this picture here. That should hurt. I don't know why it doesn't, but don't do that. And look at how many reinforcements I'm putting on. This is so that even if you only put in 2 feet of rebar, this figure is going to stay standing. It's not going to go over because I have so much support on it. Some of this video is going to be repetitive.
it is because I'm just putting on reinforcement and reinforcement and reinforcement. That is what it's all about. I want this to be good and strong. Oh, we have a head is involved. Now we start making it look pretty. Can you see how I locked in that head form up there with pool noodles? And now I'm putting spray foam. This is Loctite spray foam because I feel I have the most control over it and I can make it cure fast. These are smaller than normal. These masks are just about head size. They're a little bit smaller. They fit great over wig heads. And I like using these for figures because a lot of the time masks are oversized in order to fit over a big melon like mine. So then you have to make an oversized figure, and I don't want every figure to have to be oversized. It's nice to have some normal people-sized figures with average-sized heads. And that's just something that you have to think about in your planning and your design. You can't always get them, but those smaller heads, those smaller masks are out there. And after I talk about proportions, I use a much larger hand than normal because this is a latex glove that's meant to go over top of someone's hand. Those gloves are from Lord Grimley's Manor, which is a mask seller online. They are, I think they're like $30, $30 or $35 for that set of hands, which are beautiful. Now these are painted to match the head, of course, but they're just good. They're good hands. They're also very stout. They're very thick gloves, so I like them a lot for hands. And these are the slightly bigger pool noodles, so I shaved those down. You can see I'm putting some water on there to activate the Loctite foam. Shave it down so the glove fits on without a weird hump. No one likes weird humps. Oh, let's insert some eyes. I think these are just eye spheres. And I use those in order to give a little bit more realism. Anytime you can make separation. So the mask is there, the eye forms are separate. It really feels like the mask is going over top of the eyes. And then sometimes you might insert resin teeth. All of those different things are just to add different layers and textures visually. In this case, I'm painting. It's Teddy. Teddy is now painting a witch hand, different type of glove. Right now it looks like that should be out searching for the hobbits in Isengard, but it looks a little orcish, but we will put that orc in drag and make him a witch. I looked very determined walking across a parking lot with scissors and a roll of fabric. And we're just cutting up chunks and we're figuring out if you watch my Dementor video, it's kind of the same dressing technique. It is, this piece is for the hood, this piece is for the chest, this is for the torso. It goes over the same type of cut, goes over long ways to make yourself 2 sleeves. And there's, 3 or 4 pieces going over the head with a hole in it. Of course, I'm doing this on a windy day, which is actually good because if I did it on a no windy day, I would not have the same insights for this piece that's going to be outside. And now you can see I'm covering what the upper piece won't cover to make it feel more like sleeves. Look at that. Don't make life harder than it needs to be. Break everything down into shapes. A shirt doesn't have to be shirt shaped, it has to look like it's shirt shaped. Oh, this one gets a wig. We fancy. It is fun to push people to their limits. Yesterday, I gave Teddy a project that made him throw a fit of rage. It was great. So I love the way this fabric looks. You got through the repetition of building them and putting them together. Look at that final product. Look at them painted. We distressed it. We missed it with spray paint. These witches are going to look so good out in the woods staring back at you. And very simple materials. Not a ton of time, but beautiful to look at.
Go make stuff.
All right, so this is where we normally do Patreon shout-outs. We're kind of reformatting a little bit because that is a lot to keep up with. But I want to see you. I want to meet you. So we are going to be at the Texas Frightmare Convention here in Texas this weekend coming up. And then we're going to be at the Midwest Haunters Convention coming up. So look up the Midwest Haunters Convention. That's going to be in Chicago. Come see and meet the Stilt Beast crew there. Go make stuff.